and in today's episode, we are going to look into setting financial goals the right way in this year 2023 going forward. So, when we talk about financial goal setting, this is equally to like when a person wants to put up a house, they have to get a sketch, they have to get a plan of how they want this house to look like. Similarly, the way you want your financial life to be this year, it will be in line with the goals that you have set forward for the year going forward. So, and it is said that if you want to change your future, you have to take action, and not just take action, but take action right now. So if you do not like or love how your financial situation is, if it's not in shape or there are some things that are going out of hand, you ought to take a collective action which includes putting financial goals into perspectives. By putting financial goals, you map your year early in advance how you want it to fall in place in the course of the year. And today we are going to outline 10 points that each and every one of us should consider while setting up financial goals. There are many goals that one can set, like for example, in this case, we are talking about financial goals. There are other goals like you want to manage your home. You want to manage your weight. You want to manage your emotions. But in this specific case, we are going to look how to set financial goals. And point number one, when you are setting your financial goals, the number one thing to do is to make sure that your mindset is in sync with your resolutions that you have come to make, that you are going to put forward financial goals that you want to achieve. So you have to be, your mind has to agree with your resolutions, and your finances should also agree with your resolutions. So that's point number one. Like, you must resolve that I am doing this and I am committing to do this, even way before you set these goals forward. So number one thing is your mindset being in sync with your resolutions and purposing to walk the course that you want to put forward. So by so doing, everything else will fall in place because you've already planned to adjust and you have purpose and settled that you are going to do this. Number 2 point, list down the goals, the financial goals that you want to achieve. And the number that I want to put forward, one should put forward 7 to 10 financial goals. The reason I say you put 7 to 10 or below 10 financial goals is that there should not be so many to allow you to be able to focus, to be able to make sure you follow up and attain them. Remember, when you're setting goals, they should be smart. Like, they should be specific, they should be able to be measured, they should be attainable, they should be realistic, and they should be time-bound. So make sure to set an achievable number of goals. And these goals you're setting, they are divided into short-term goals, and they are those goals that are going to roll over into years forward. so that are going to be long term. For example, a number of short term goals that one can put forward is things like setting up an emergency fund. Another goal, maybe you want to shift your children to even a better school. You plan for that way in advance. Long-term goals, maybe you want even in the next 3-4 years, you want to build a house, you want to buy a car. When you are planning for these financial goals, they involve a huge sum of money, and therefore you need to plan for this. So these are some of the long-term goals. So have a number like 10 of these financial goals, and they include short-term goals which are achievable within a period of 1 year, and we have the long-term goals which are going to be achieved for more than a year, that are going to take more than 1 year to achieve them. So that's point number 1. List down, put forward the number of goals that you want to achieve. Number 2 thing, put these goals down, write them. Write them down. And by writing them down, this allows you to be able to, you can be able to refer anytime you want to know how you're doing, or whatever it is that you had planned to achieve this year. So put these goals down, because you cannot be able to have each and everything in your head. Remember, you are setting yourself forward to work to realize these goals, and you are going to encounter so much. So you need to have them somewhere on a piece of paper in your book, where you can be able to refer them. And as you put these goals down, you read them out each and every day. By so doing, you inscribe them into your subconscious, and when they register in your subconscious, every time you're working to realize these goals. So you read them every day, so that when you read them, even when you're working, when you're going about your everyday activity, you know why you're here. You are here to realize all these goals that you have listed. Point number 3. Have pictures of these financial goals you want to achieve. If you want to build a house, if you want to buy that car, if you want to take your children to even a better school, the school that you want to take them, make sure to have pictures of the same. And these pictures should be placed in a place where you are able to see them regularly, such that every time you have a look at them, you are reminded why you're here. You are reminded what goals you're working towards. And you can place these pictures maybe in your screensaver, or your screen to your phone. You can have them in your car, you can have them in your room, in your house, and every time you see these pictures, you're reminded what it is that you want to achieve. Because if it's out of sight, it can also be out of mind. So let it be intentional to put it in a place where you're constantly able to see them, and you're reminded whatever it is that you're working towards. After having this vision board or these pictures in some place that you are easily able to see them, the next step is to assess your finances. We've been talking about having a budget, and it is at this point you engage your budget once again. You already know the incomes that you expect. You already know your expenses, and at this point, in relation to the goals that you have listed up there, you analyze it again, and make sure whatever you are setting aside that is going towards achievement of these goals should be equal to the goals that you want to achieve. So if you need to reevaluate your expenses, you have to do so at this point, and you put an amount that is going towards achievement of these goals. So hoping that it's well noted. The next point, after assessing your finances, the next point is actually putting aside this money. The money that you have set aside that is going towards the achievement of these goals, you set it aside. And you set this money aside by putting it in a different account, a different pocket that is solely going towards achieving of these goals. And this money can be put in some various places. Like for example, you go to your local bank, you assess the kind of account that they have available. An account that you can put in this money, and the money is not charged while they keep your money. So make sure to get the features of the account that they are giving you, and having that money sit in that account, if anything, they should offer you an interest for this money lying in that bank account. Alternatively, the other platform where one can put in this money are places like the money market. And in the money market, they have various platforms. Like they have the platform where you can save this money for a period like within 1 year, and they offer even better rates of return. Like they have better interest rates. Like for example, I walked into an office where they were offering 9%, where your money sits there for a period of 1 year. If your money sits there for a period of 1 year, they offer an interest rate at a rate of 9%. Where money goes beyond 1 year, like between 1 year to 3 years, they offer even a better rate of return. Where money sits there even for more than 5 years, the returns are even better. So get to analyze the place where you are putting in this money. But what I want to advise, like, let this money be separated from your normal account, from your current account where you transact on a daily basis, such that this money is completely set aside. So that's the next point. The next point that is very important, see yourself achieving these goals. See yourself achieving these goals that you have set aside. It will not make sense to just list 10 goals that you want to achieve, but in real sense, you do not see yourself achieving these goals. So set these goals, see yourself achieving these goals as you work towards attainment of the same. When you see yourself attaining these goals, you are even motivated to even work even more harder. You are motivated to continue working towards realizing these goals. So see yourself achieving that goal that you have set forward. See yourself being in that house, that dream house that you have set forward. See yourself buying that car. See yourself getting that job that you want to start, the company that you're starting. So see yourself achieving these goals. And the other point is assess your performance. Remember, you did set the goals, you assessed your finances, and you did put aside the finances, and you saw yourself achieving these goals. At this point, you assess your performance. How are you doing with the accounts that you set aside to achieve these goals? You know, how are you doing? Like the money you did set aside for to buy your house, or to build up a house, to buy a car, you know, to have this emergency fund. How far are you? You know, and this should be done regularly, maybe quarterly, you know, semi-annually, you know, or even on a monthly basis where possible. By so doing, you are able to track your performance, such that you do not just set up these goals, but by so doing, you are able to track how you are performing. You are able to take corrective action. So make sure to assess your progress on a regular basis. By so doing, you see how far you are, you see the margin by which you've grown, or you are working towards realization of these goals that you have set forward. And by so doing, you are even motivated, you know. If by the first month you've done 5%, by the end of the second month, maybe you've added another 2%, you are at 7%. Remember, you're not at 0%. You've come this far. By so doing, by so assessing, you are motivated to continue, and you are able to make sure that you are walking steps towards the right direction. The next point, after assessing, you know, look out on the loopholes that are taking out your money. For example, you assess whether maybe you have a debt that a lot of money is going towards debt repayment, whereas the debt that you're paying, it's something that can be avoided. Like you clear out that debt and you are able to save more towards realizing these goals, you know. Or even you are able to realize that you are borrowing money that you do not need. By so doing, you are able to put your priorities in place and in the right direction. Also, when you assess yourself, you realize maybe a lot of your money is going towards impulse buying, and you are able to seal that loophole. You realize maybe you are eating out, and you are able to minimize on that, and maybe you even go ahead and have your meals prepared from home, and it's a healthy meal, and by so doing, the meals are cheaper, and you are able to even save more money. Another thing, you could find like you are going out more frequently, or the number of times that you're going out, they are high, and by so doing, you can be able to minimize. If you're going out maybe 2 times in a month, you are able to minimize it to once a month, or once after 2 months, so that you put aside this money towards achievement of the goals that you have set forward. After you've done that, the next step, the 10th step, you implement these goals that you have set forward. You know, the reason I say you start implementing, you do not have to wait until you have all the money that you needed to implement this program, or these goals that you have. If you had a goal to start a business, you know, at this point, maybe you've gone, you wanted to achieve this goal within a period of 1 year. At that point, you are at the close of your financial year, you know. It does not necessarily have to be the calendar year, you know, because you're never late. Whenever you start planning, you know, or setting up these goals, your goals could start from the month of May, and for a period of 12 months up to April of the following year, that's when your year ends, and you start to implement. So at the close of the year, at that juncture, whatever savings you have that you have set forward to achieve your goals, if you had a goal to start a business, start at that level with the amount that you have accumulated. You start small, you start now. As you go growing towards the next level, towards becoming big and becoming better. So by so doing, you even start a business with the only stock that is needed, because you are going to bring in the items that the market requires. But remember, when you have too much money, you even end up buying even dead stock. You have your shop packed with everything, but some of these things that you even have on those shelves and counters, nobody is asking for them. So when you start at that level, with the little resources that you have, you make sure to bring in the items that are fast moving, and by so doing, you go bringing the items that are needed by your market, by the customers of those people who need the services or the goods that you're offering. So implement in a small way. So start small, start wherever you are. Start by putting that perimeter wall, and I can say this with confidence, when you have that perimeter wall, you're motivated to start, you're motivated to continue, you're motivated to do the next step. So start implementing your goals, don't wait for too long. Now, after having said all this, I want to put forward this quote by Brian Tracy. And he says, the more you think about financial independence, the more you base your decisions about time and money with these objectives in mind. So there are a few points that I want to put across that one ought to consider or know when you are setting up these financial goals. And I want to say that as you're working towards achieving these financial goals, it calls for persistence and it calls for patience. It does not just happen, and by so doing, at times have you ever planned your goals and they seem like nothing is coming forth? What I want to say is that it calls for persistence and it calls for patience. So continue setting aside these monies, continue pushing, continue having your dreams, continue reading them out, continue reading out these goals every day, even when it looks like things are not coming together. Hold on. It calls for persistence, it calls for patience. The other point is that it calls for hard work. Remember, you've set these financial goals, and as you are setting forward these financial goals, it is the very same income you've been earning, and you want it to achieve all these goals. So it calls for hard work. It calls for you to go out and even get extra cash by even getting a second job, working part-time, trying to commercialize even your skills, have things that can bring in you more money, that this money is going to be geared towards attaining these financial goals that you have set forward. Another point that I want to put across is that it matters the company that you have. Remember, if you are in company where you are the best person that is doing, the overall person that is doing very well, everybody is looking up to you, it means you need to move out of that group and go to some better company where you are getting challenged, where you are getting motivated to even do better. So be in company of those people that are doing better more than you, so that you can learn from them, so that you can ask questions. They've achieved the dreams that you want to achieve, and by so doing, you can even get mentored by them through asking questions, learning from them. We all want to emulate those people who have achieved what we want to achieve. So be in company of those people who are also happy to see you achieve your goals. Remember, they are personal goals, and thereby you are going to take a personal initiative to make sure that you achieve these goals. Another thing that I want to put forward is that goal setting is the masterpiece to success. You know, if you do not set up these goals, it means you're not going to achieve any goal. And whatever you've not planned to have, you are not going to have it. Remember, when you aim at nothing, you hit it perfectly. But when you purpose to achieve this goal, you end up achieving whatever goals that you have achieved. So, like for example, at times I go ahead and think about those people who have gone to the space. Like you ask yourself, from where do you start going to the space? But because this person had a dream, had a goal to get to the moon, they did put plans together and they worked towards achieving it, and it was actually realized. So design whatever you want to achieve and make sure to walk that path, you know. And so I want to say it, design it and achieve it. Thank you so much for listening to these educative clips, and see you in the next episode. I welcome you to like this video, share it with your friends and family, call them, let's learn together. And if you have any topic that you would want us talk about, or you want me to share it, bring it forward, put it in the comment section, and see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.